Guys, in this video we have got this monster, the MX-07 from ZD Racing. I've already taken it out the box. The box is still heavy. Ugh. Look at this thing. It's massive, it's huge. It's a right beast. Oh dear. Now if you're familiar with the USA 1 from Kyosho, you know that's quite a big truck. Look at the size difference. So it's not Xmaxx big, but it's a big old beast. And I guess 1/7 scale being that it's a MX-07 and it shares the chassis from the EX-07, the Hoonigan style street basher. So there's 3 different versions of this. You can get like a roller, it doesn't come with any electronics. You get the 150 amp version, which has got the Surplus Hobby, I think. Surplus Hobby 150 amp ESC in it, or you can get this version, which is the 160 amp, which has got a Hobby Wing Max 6 in it. I chose this one because the 150 amp Surplus Hobby, although I've not had any problems with it, when they brought out the 1/7 scale like Hoonigan thing, quite a few people smoked that 150 amp one. They also do 2 different body styles. They do this silver one, which I think is the better looking one, and then they also do a multicolored one. I definitely think this one looks a little bit nicer. It looks a bit more scale. Looks like a Ford body there, doesn't it? Light bar up front. Working lights on the front, working lights on the rear, couple of drivers in it. It looks so scale. For a big monster truck, it's got a really nice look about it. In the box you get a trusty Dumbo RC transmitter. This is a 4-channel one. You got all your functions under there: steering dual rate, steering trim, throttle dual rate. These are my go-to and a lot of other people's go-to. They're cheap and cheerful and they do the job. In here, a couple of big battery straps, some cable ties, some foam sticky pads, some instructions, and a nice looking wheelie bar. Not sure on the size of the hardware for this big wheelie bar and this big truck, but this wheelie bar has bearings in it. Take note, other manufacturers, and that is actually rubber. Very nice. Ugh. I'll tell you what, it's expensive, but man, it looks so good. These tyres feel really nice. Nice big chunky wheels. Massive shocks as well. In the middle of doing a video for the Hyper MTX, them shocks are big, but these ones are even bigger. Feel quite nice as well. Looks like a machined shock tower there, machined shock tower at the rear there. Double chassis brace, adjustable camber and toe, relatively big chunky tie rod there. Adjustable camber on the rear, sway bars. Comes with sway bars, nice. There's your Max 6 there, 160 amp, which means it should take 8S. I'm only going to run this 6S today, as it says there, 3 to 8S LiPo. There's your motor there, not sure what size it is, it's a pretty big one. Centre diff there with alloy housing. You got a 2-piece rear drive shaft, so you got like an intermediate shaft there, goes through a bearing and then into the rear, and then a single drive shaft to the front. So it says 70/75. Chassis there. Don't know how thick it is, 3, maybe 4. I'll put some details on the screen if I can find them. And then there's your servo down there. Overall, this thing's an absolute beast. Gonna whip a wheel off and look at the hub and stuff under there. Then we'll stick the wheelie bar on, charge some batteries, and obviously go give it a run. There's your hub and steering assembly. That drive shaft looks a decent size. Bearings all round. What a truck. These are all that hold these wheels on. I'm not convinced at how well they're gonna do with the size of them. I might be wrong, but they just feel, they're really light alloy and they're not, well, I don't know, we'll see. This thing's so big. It's huge. Oh man. It's got some power. So quick speed run on grass, longish grass, so I can't imagine this is going to be super quick. But you're not really going to run this on the road anyway, are you? Why would you run it on the road? There we go. That's full throttle. Yeah, it doesn't look all that great. That's 6S. Remember, it'd take 8S. I'm not sure if the motor would take 8S actually. Ah! The diff's actually okay. It's only when it lifts the front that the wheel's blown. It levels out quite well. Alright, let's bring it back in. Let's bring it back. Steering's okay. It's okay when you're running along. It's big old tyres, aren't they? So actually it's not, that needs a lot of torque just to do that, I suppose. I reckon about 35. Oh, keep putting it in kilometres. That's 40. Is that 40? Yeah, 41. That's not bad actually off-road. You could probably expect about 50 on-road, so reasonable for a big old beast like this. The lights look really cool on this. It's got indicators as well, rear lights. It's got a brake light. The brakes are really sharp. I tried to tune it. It's a hobby, oh, it flies nice. It's a Hobby Wing, obviously Max 6. I plugged the Bluetooth into it and it wouldn't connect, but the brakes are really sharp. That jump's nice. It's nice and smooth as well. It's got a really nice feel to it. Oh, beast. What a beast. Go on, have it. Go on. Go on. You ain't gonna get it. Left you for dust. This thing's mad. It's quite easy to control as well. You've got to be pretty careful on the brakes because they're sharp brakes, but it's pretty easy to control in the air. Love it. Man, what a beast. Ah! Oh. Uh-oh. What's happened here? Is it my bumper? It broke, popped out of there. Thought that was going to be a quick fix, but it's bent the screws on the bumper mount, that's all, so it's a little bit wonky. Bit of a rubbish jump that though, wasn't it? Don't know if I want to attempt a backflip or not, what do you reckon? I think it can do it. Should do a backflip. Not just any backflip, a one-handed backflip. Come on then. Yes, just about. Here's my camera. Wow. ZD Racing, this is a beast. I haven't looked at parts availability yet, so I'm being a bit gentle with it. Not that that should be, not that we should, whoa! Being a bit gentle with it. Although we shouldn't be worrying about part support, should we? But unfortunately, these sort of brands sometimes are a bit lacking. I will check AliExpress though. That's usually your best place for parts. Oh man, have we knocked the bumper straight? We did, we knocked it straight again. Oh, I've got to carry it now. Oh man, ugh, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. Well guys, what can I say? I am super impressed with this. Now, yeah, it wasn't a crazy bash, and my batteries ran out as we got to the skate park. A couple of nosedives, a couple of cartwheels, completely destroyed the front bumper. So definitely not up to the job of protecting this big beast. Also, a couple of little dents in the rear of the body, obviously where it hit the top of the shock tower. But this thing was so fun to drive. It may have sounded a bit loud on camera, but it was actually nice and smooth, controlled really well in the air. The tyres hook up so good as well. I'm going to check now for spares, see if you can get them, but I dare say that this is the best truck that ZD Racing have ever produced. I love it. So I've checked online, AliExpress has got loads of spares for this thing, like everything you'd ever need, and the prices are really good. Them shocks are huge and they're so cheap. Chassis like 50 quid, $60. So loads of spares available, they are cheap. And my final thing, if you could go into your local hobby shop and this was sat on the shelf next to the equivalent Traxxas or Armour or Hebeo, I would certainly say this is a good buy. It's just a lot of money for something that's not as accessible as other stuff. But in my opinion, with all that said, ZD Racing have still done an awesome job of this thing.